tasty morsel. She became the falling crumb from that woman's cake at the PTA bake, sailed to bring your eyes out on ever-vivid stamens when your wife slipped below the surface to hard-face those wreck finds, the fractured symmetry and dismatrimonial ends.
On the clay grey day you were early, carefully I muttered, I have to get compost supplies, and you sighed your sigh. Why? Why can't you get a normal job like me, like Marjorie? When I'd gone, you cried, what's this? The PTA bake has mummy not made a cake? No. Sigh. Tap, 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 swipe.
The sticky wipes seeped through the box, lips pursed, you picked out 2 whole eggs. You measured out half the flour, half the sugar, and half the butter. Olive poured in the sea salt as the phone rang. When you picked it up, she spilt the milk over the counter.
While Storm Belinda slyly whipped the sea into a small frenzy, I, the seaweed collector, grabbed at the long weed on the rocks, trying to scramble up before I was thrown against them. I slid down the rock face as the waves retreated, grasping at the strong kelp as I did, picking the thick ribbons over the weak leafweed, tearing away at my touch.
You noticed the froth at the milky shoreline, the white liquid polluted by the lumps of mollusk sugar. Olive pushing it around, wrinkling her nose, an eruption inside as the doorbell chimed, and there was Busty Marjorie from work with a PTA cake.
Another wave coming, I started to wrap the kelp around my arms, grasping it tightly, not knowing how strong the sea would be, feeling like a fool as it crashed into me. I found a place for my feet and squatted there, clinging to the thick rubbery strands. In the breaks between waves, I began to knot. I remembered when the baby ran nappyless in the first sun of spring, my veg plot had stirred, and as the green shoots poked through, there had spread up me too, a crisp mental awakening. Growing and eating and selling what I could to the cafe up the road, I dreamt about Larry's restaurant.
Busty Marjorie from work took her cake into the kitchen. Tut, tut, dear, dear. Busty Marjorie from work bent down to the ground to pick up the baby's toy, innocently flashing a well-packed thigh. I don't like that cake, said Olive, picking out a lump from the spill and moving it towards her lips. You whipped out a charming grin for Busty Marjorie, taking it all in. Let's make yours too, then, she said to Olive, rolling her eyes to you.
The next wave only hit my knees, so I waited as the sea had fun, the sky whirled away, knowing you were right about the goddamn seaweed idea. We'd been to Scotland to visit my aunt. With my new minty eyes, I saw seaweed on the menu. Seaweed, our bay is full of it, already grown, just think. You and she smiled your encouraging smiles. I reddened at your acknowledging wink. Back home you'd said, don't be crazy, no one eats seaweed down here. Something small just clicked in my head.
Busty Marjorie expertly mixed and half-filled the lined sandwich tins. Olive left to lick the bowl. You retreated for tea, while she spat it back in. On the sofa, a cautious complaint of a first fallen morsel started the avalanche of soothing, comforting, massaging murmurs in that shared condition of theirs. Busty Marjorie certainly was the full package, cake-making, money-making, easy on the eye and the hand. She would be everything, and this would be the real thing.
Storm Belinda had only been messing, and as she finally let the sea subside, I unhooked myself, cold, pelleted and aching, shaking, pale skin thin, but still alive. Storm Belinda tittered as I scrambled my way upwards. The beach was green with leafweed, enough for a cafe, for Larry's restaurant, harvest enough for a feast.
Busty Marjorie was already clearing up. The morsel in the milk swiped from the surface. You cleaned up too, cleaned me out, laughing at my seaweed and I. Sigh. The cake done, Olive said. The first bit's for Marjorie, gilded flashes in both your eyes. As she took her first bite and salt engulfed her sides, Marjorie gulped and smiled. Too late, lovey, she whispered. The deal's already done, placing a hand on your thigh.
Up above the Kent surface, she kept afloat the familial row, rowboat, kids, shop, cook, wash, clean, while the view inside works out behind her ribs as polished splinters, and she's steeped through by salt, by small miseries, capsizing in faint tatters from over-hot showers.
Red-eyed today, that raw sight, the mess mummifies and twisted hard into a grain towel, at dissolve, that resolve, drowning as the breath from her pressed lungs utters silver foil streams and silent screams of annihilation.
The turned tide waves, tidy water seams, ravelling seaweed fails, as love, the phosphorescence trails, inking your wife's skin, but it becomes thinner, paler than pearls, the size of your once given gold ring.